Let's talk about Flanderism. It's a form of false righteousness. It's based on the cartoon character Ned Flanders from The Simpsons. So if you've ever watched The Simpsons and you've seen Ned Flanders, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So before we begin, let's talk about Ecclesiastes chapter 7, verse 16 and 17. In it, it says in 16, don't be over-righteous much. And in 17, don't be too wicked. So we'll just go with that. Now, let's get an example. Let's ask a question. Is smoking a sin? See, there's a lot, Flanderism, they make a lot of things into sins. So the very first thing we're going to ask is smoking a sin? Well, another question would be, is it forbidden in the Bible? And the answer is no. Is it lawful for you to do? Well, if it's not forbidden, it's lawful. So the answer is yes. Now, as a Christian, should I smoke? And the answer is no. Then the question would be, why? All right, so if you go to 1 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 12, and you read it, you'll find out that if anything is addictive, it's something you shouldn't do. Okay, and in 1 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 23, just because it's not prohibited doesn't mean that everything's good for you, right? Smoking is definitely bad. Let's see, cancer, heart attack, Berger's disease, which means you lose your lower legs, stroke. It's bad. It's plain bad. All right, so we know that. Now, unfortunately, because of the doctrines of men, you're going to have the temple of God argument, which you find in 1 Corinthians chapter 6, verses 15 through 20. So if you say, well, you shouldn't smoke, and they'll say, oh, it's a sin. And they'll say, why? Because your body's a temple of God. But that's inaccurate, because you got to read the whole thing. It really is saying prostitution. It's against prostitution. It's explicit. And implicit, it's against all other sexual perversions, promiscuity, etc. See, if you read the whole thing. So the temple of God is not a good argument. It's really chapter 6, verse 12. Is it addictive? So let's move on to some more. Gambling, drinking, alcohol, and drugs. All right, is gambling forbidden in the Bible? No. Well, what about drinking alcohol? Forbidden? No. Drug addiction? No. I mean, some people will find a way to say, yeah, drug addiction is whatever, but no, it's not in there. It's not in the Bible. But all of them can be addictive. In drugs, it's like cigarettes. It's addictive. So there's no question about it. As a Christian, should you be snorting cocaine or toking or shooting heroin? No, because it's addictive, so it's off the table. Gambling and alcohol, on the other hand, it's one of those things that you can take it or leave it. But it can be addictive. People are alcoholic. They can become alcoholic. It's in them. So they really shouldn't be doing it. And why? Well, because of 1 Timothy chapter 5, verse 8, which means because of your gambling addiction, because of your drug addiction, because of your alcohol addiction, you're not taking care of your family. And if you do that, that is sin. So it becomes sin. There we go with that. Now, the other things you should read is Proverbs chapter 28, verse 24, Romans chapter 14, verses 2, 14, 21, and 22. These are all the good things that you should read. I really think you should get a good Bible while you can before the time comes that you won't be able to find one. Not on the internet or in print. And the last one I want to close with is Romans chapter 14, verse 23, which states, more or less, I'm paraphrasing it, if it's not a sin, but you think it is, then God will hold you accountable. And this is Flanderism. This is a problem with Flanderism. There's people, weak Christians who have a weak conscience, who think that, certain things are sins when in fact they're really not. And they just don't read the Bible. And unfortunately, you cannot put a stumbling block in front of a brother Christian who is weak. So if they think that smoking is a sin, well, for them it is. And certainly you don't want to trip them up with gambling or any other type of thing. Because that's what brothers do. They don't trip each other up.